Hello, Tony McCool here on the McCool to Talk podcast, and today I'm doing my first of my non-league rounds, and I was looking through all the fixtures near me, and one stood out, one because I know the levels, worked at that level, which is step 4 of the Southern League Central, and the newly promoted Real Bedford, which I think is a really exciting project, and hopefully I've spoken to Peter, lovely welcome from him, and I hope to grab a word with him in a bit. But for future and for people to understand what we're doing here, I'm looking to kind of look at these games, these non-league level games, through the eyes of a scout. So, you know, looking for talent and not really that considered about the result, more about who would stand out and has got a possibility to progress. And kind of analysing it in that way, and using kind of DNA approach to which is what we would have done, or what I would have done in recruitment for many years. So that's where I am today. Real Bedford, keep nearly saying Real Madrid, versus Hertford Town, and I think their manager actually I come across for a good few years. I think a few of his former academy players came to me and were very capable. Which is Bedford. I think it's a very respectable academy. Well, judging by the players that came through me anyway later on. And we'll see how we go. Grab a word with some people along the way, and hope you enjoy. All the best. Well, we're just closing out the half here at Real Bedford, and I have to say, really, really impressed with this Real Bedford team. Game-wise, they got Hertford Town sort of had a go. Within 5 minutes they were, looked like almost a superior team, like know the league, know the level, and only took 5 minutes, I would say, for this Real Bedford team to come to terms with, right, okay, we're here, we're going to put a stamp on this, and they've just been absolutely terrific ever since. It's 1-0, could be 5-0. I think I've counted 3 sort of really good saves one-on-one with the keeper. They've had one over the bar. They've been getting in behind. Their possession has been excellent. And to put my sort of scouting hat on, player-wise, my word, they've got some terrific players. Unfortunately, one went off injured, which was Mo Ahmed. It was cracking effort as well, getting at people, running at them. But the lad in the middle, Callum Nicholson, wow, him and Ben Stevens linking up. I mean, you could name the whole team, to be fair, but really, really bright, and they do things really fast, really quick, and that's what they did for the goal. They got took a quick free kick and rolled it inside and played from there, and that freed up Ben Stevens in the box, and he knocked it into the top corner. But they've been absolutely terrific. Fair play. I would say there's players here, even at step 4, you could see. I mean, I know myself, we were, I don't know, let's for example playing step 3 against teams like Kings Lynn and Hertford, and some of these players easily I could see, and with the chairman's big sort of statements about wanting to play in a football league, well, what a start to this level, because the way they're going, they certainly have got players that could be playing higher than this level, let's say. Even at the back, they've got Brett, a guy I know, Brett Longdon, does a lot of talking and reading, and just sort of, great passing of the ball. He's some really good diags. They press really high, this Real Bedford team. Confidence, I think, after that 5 minutes, they just got really confident and pressing high, and they've got little diags, ball round the corner. But in particular, this guy Callum Nicholson. For those around Luton will remember a guy, David Priest, small guy, but could play around corners off both feet. This is what this guy's like. He's just if I was playing against him, you want to lasso him. And quite dynamic as well. Seemed to have been out of switch shape, even though they were on top. Seemed to be sort of leaving free at the back mostly now. And the guy, Drew, great shape, big tall lad. He's stepping into midfield. Yeah, very dominant performance from Bedford. But some frustration, I think, creeping into Hertford, because they've not really got going after that 5 minutes. They had a penalty. I'm not sure. if it was or it wasn't, but anyway, it was given. The keeper saved really well. Tyler down to his left, and then later on the 9 who took that, Bakali, got himself booked with a rash foul. Not long before that, the 7 Cade Bag, I think he's called, again, big strong lad. He was good early doors, cutting inside, and then he got another rash tackle as well. So I get a bit frustrated, Hertford, but I've really enjoyed this. I've got to say, we're going to find some other people to talk to.
This is my third favourite club. That one's my...
Well, we found these couple of guys that are like really keen on football. So what's your name?
Jonte.
And your name?
Ryan.
Ryan. So guys, who do you want to win today?
Real Bedford to win.
Real Bedford as well.
And do you go to a lot of games, guys?
Yes. I do go to a lot of games. A couple.
I've been to... This is my 10th one. I've been to Barnet, Bedford Town, I've been to Arsenal, I've been to Charlton, I've been to Leyton Orient, I've been to quite a few.
Oh, I used to work for Charlton, actually. That was one of my other clubs. That's a lovely ground, isn't it, Charlton? Did you go to the ground?
Yes, it's actually a really nice ground.
Yeah, it's superb. It's a club you're a bit too young to remember, I would think. But
I do remember them being in the Premier League. There were some players there, like Scott Parker and
absolutely, what a player he was, wasn't he? Yes, so that was a club. That was a club I worked for when they got promotion. Actually, when they went to Wembley, got promoted, and I was working for them then. So they really are a terrific club. So, what's the favourite non-league ground that you've been to?
I actually do not know. That's kind of... I have no clue, actually.
Do you know what? Did you say, are you an Arsenal fan?
Yeah.
I tell you what, that pitch would be all right at Arsenal, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, when I got here, I was like, how have they got a pitch like that? It's unreal, it's terrific, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could play. Could you play on that? You'd be class on it.
Yeah. I could have played on it.
And what's your YouTube? You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What is it?
Autistic Teen.
Say again, Porry.
Autistic Teen.
Autistic Team. And why is that special to you? What is it? Who are you reaching out to, and why?
And I do mostly time football and some comedies I do. So
Comedy, I love comedy. Yeah, get me going on comedy. I love it.
yeah.
So you're trying to, is it to try and help people with autism, or what? How's the autism team come into it?
I don't know, actually.
You're just doing it because it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
What about yourself? Are you involved in something like that, or you just come to the games?
Just come to the games, really.
I love it, and what a positive thing to do, guys. And I was delighted to talk to you both. Hope you enjoyed the second half. Who's going to win this game overall?
Real Bedford.
I'll say Real Bedford.
So one said Real Bedford and one said Real, and I'm curious about this. What is it, Real or Real, as in Real Madrid, right?
No.
Real. It's real.
It's Real because I've heard from the chairman and stuff, they say Real. They say Real Madrid, they say it like Real Bedford.
Right, so it's got it.
Yeah.
And the way he's thinking, I think if he has his way, he'd be playing in the European Cup against Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, that's their goal's to go to the Premier League and to probably reach European football. So
Good. Well, the stadium might not hold up for the Premier League, but the pitch would. That's for certain. Right, guys, great talking to you, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, the crowd are just leaving now. Very healthy crowd as well at Real Bedford. And it's finished 2-0 here. And shock, Ben Stevens was able to pass one into the net. Really tidy finish again. I would say, yeah, I mean, it's easy to say when the goal scorers about standout players, but really was terrific in everything he did, actually, to be fair. And actually the sub, Corbett, I think, cut inside to make that. I think it's so important when players cut inside, they think about the weight of the pass. So I think there's a lot of credit there to be given for Corbett with his detail there when he passed it in, which enabled him to have that nice slot home. So yeah, I think second half as well, Hertford were better, came out. I think that started well again and had a bit longer this time, like 10 minutes before Bedford could regain some good spells of the ball. And I think for Hertford, what I would say is got talking to some people from there, and they described how they are an extremely young team. I think they've got some players with talent. There's a lad there, I would say probably certainly on and off the ball breaking lines, which is something I would always look for. So going back to put my scouting hat on, there's a lad at number 8, Billy Mardle Smith, who I think looks like a young lad, bags of potential, I would say. And one of the most exciting things I would say to players, can you get in the box without the ball in open play as a centre midfielder? And he certainly is prepared to do that. So he wants to play forward, wants to get forward. Looks like a talented lad, and I think there's it showed ability as well. Lad Morgan Mahoney in there as well. I thought he was trying to play around corners and trying to play forward. And a big shout out to a lad I realised when he came on was Lamry, I think they called him, but I knew him as Larry, and Ballagum. Yeah, used to coach him when he was in a development centre with Norwich, and I'm going to go and say hello to him shortly because what a lovely young man. Credit to his family. And he came on, he absolute handful. Yeah, tried to get his foot on the ball, tried to get his team in the game. So they're much better second half, Hertford. But I'm hearing they're quite a lot of young players, and they've moved some players onto pro football. So I'm sure a good club like that with an excellent person like Ben Hurd, proper football guy, knows his stuff. So I'm sure there'll be no panic station, so to speak. First game of the season, and actually some of the Real Bedford players did start to tire as well towards us. Not surprising. First game, pitch is absolutely superb, but the grass is quite thick, so I think that lends itself to people getting tired a bit sooner. So, right, let's see who we can grab to finish this up. Right, so I'm just here with Rob Sinclair. Obviously someone I know through being around the game, and I've just caught him after the game. I myself, the first half particularly, was absolutely blown away with the performance of Real Bedford. Just wanted to get your thoughts on it, Rob.
Yeah, really positive. Obviously early days as well, but the boys are learning the style and taking on board what we want them to deliver. Clean sheet, 2 goals. Really happy with the performance. Yeah,
and in particular, I've personally, I thought the first 5, the way I see it, I try and look at these things like as if I was kind of scouting and recruitment, and it was like you was able to, the 2 sort of stepping higher and higher, I think, as you grew into the game. And actually first half, without being cruel to Hertford, I actually thought you could have been 4 or 5 up. I don't know about you.
Yeah, look, I think they started well for about 5 minutes, and the boys had to adjust to that and realise the tracking the runners. But then once we sort of nullified their threats, like you said, I think we had a real strangle on the game, and like you've just said, we probably should have at that point put the game to bed, which sometimes actually can affect you. So credit to the boys then coming out second half to keep going to get that second, and then obviously Tyler with the penalty save at a crucial moment, big moment. But that's what you want your goalies to do. So, and
every game's, Rob, as you know, you've been around it a long time. Every game's got big turning points. I actually sweated a little bit. I've been in your shoes where you think we've dominated, should have perhaps had 1 or 2 more. And then they get a penalty at the other end. Was it squeaky time?
Yeah, of course. Look, when someone's got a penalty when you've been on top, it's always horrible. So, huge credit for Tyler for getting us out of that sticky moment, and it's a big moment for him as well. He's been fantastic. So really happy for him.
And the second half, not surprisingly, I suppose Ben would have got stuck into him a bit at half time, and they looked like that spell on the first was 5 minutes. When they come out the second half, it looked more like 10 or so minutes, 15 in my opinion. And then, so of course every team's going to have a go, right? But I think you handled it quite well and grew back in the game again.
No, exactly that. Look, I know Hurdy, obviously a former teammate of mine. He would never let them just give up and roll over. So we expected that. And look, in football, you're not going to have 90 minutes of pure domination. You're going to have spells where you've got to be able to defend, track your runners, head balls out of your box, saves, all those sort of nitty-gritty bits. And obviously we've been rewarded with a clean sheet, so the boys have delivered on that.
And I'll finish up, Rob, with a couple of your players look absolutely terrific. And it's easy, I always think when we were doing scouting, anyone can pull out the goal scorer, right? But his overall game, I think, wow, what a gem that lad is. And not just him, by the way, because I think the second half, You had the 8 and 10, obviously, with Ben. And then the second half, I'm looking, I think 6 has got more stuck in and had an effect. The 7's going past people down the wing. I think you've got makings of a really good side here.
Yeah, look, we've got a good group of young, talented players. They've fallen down the levels for whatever reasons, not getting professional contracts, all those different things. And luckily enough, we've been able to get hold of them as a football club and try and develop them and help them get back up the levels, because there's no question that they should be, and I believe they'll help us get up the levels, and in turn it gets them back there, because they are we've got some really talented boys.
And to finish up overall, Rob, I think I know the answer to this because you'll be thinking the next game, but overall for the season, is there an expectation or everyone's kind of talks it because obviously there's a buzz around the place. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, the club has an expectation. Everyone from outside, we put ourselves under that pressure to be successful, and that's what we'll be aiming to do. Again, look, we are under no illusion it's going to be tough. It's going to be a hard season. It's completely different to the last 2 years, but yeah, we want to put ourselves under that sort of pressure to go and be successful again, and hopefully we can deliver that.
Well, it shows actually, because one of their fans, God love him, he's a lovely guy, he's 92, a Hertford fan, which is lovely, chatting to me, but he poked me in the chest walking past and he went, here, because obviously he was getting beat, and he poked me in the chest thinking I was one of your fans, and he said here, you won't find it this easy when you get promoted. I mean, it's early doors, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an early shout, but obviously it's a nice comment from an opposition fan. But yeah, like you said in your question, we will still take it game by game. You have to keep your feet on the floor, and we look ahead to Barton on Tuesday now.
Love it. Rob, you're a top man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Okay, right, time to wrap that up. Really enjoyed today, and great to get out for my own personal reasons as well. Lovely day, really good club. Seen some great potential players. Excellent game, and time to get home and see if I can squeeze in a shandy or two. So, if you would like me to come to your club, just get in touch. I've travelled pretty much anywhere. I've got some other clubs lined up. We're trying to do this almost through the eyes of a scout, if you like, rather than just a match report. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.